let me ask a different question, Mr. Bontis. Mr. Reid signed the agreement by himself. In the bylaws of Canada Soccer, it states that any agreement needs to be signed by the executive secretary and by a second signatory, either the vice president or the president. Did the executive secretary of Canada Soccer ever sign the agreements? Because I don't have a signature on it.
I don't recall. I did not sign it as vice president, but I don't know if there was a signatory page with the general secretary.
And it's a governance issue. Mr. Heffernan, you are still the CFO at Canada Soccer. Can you explain, did the executive secretary, as is required under Canada Soccer bylaws, including the bylaws that I found dating back to that time in 2019, states clearly in 1.10 that the executive secretary needs to sign? Did he ever sign that agreement?
No.
Thank you. Let me ask another question then. Why, and this is a very important question, why did Canada Soccer, I understand you wanted a men's professional league to be set up so we could bid on the World Cup. Why were the women's assets included in an agreement that made no commitment to ever set up a women's professional league? Mr. Bontis? Sir.
My apologies for the mute, but thank you for the question. I would want to pass the question on to Victor because he had that parameter in the original proposal that was put forward to the board early on in 2017.
Which was after the date that he left as president. When I wanted to tell everybody that in the minutes, you see Mr. Mitigliani's presence at board meetings long after he left as president of Canada Soccer. In fact, they tried to pass a resolution authorizing him to attend all board meetings afterwards. So, Mr. Mitigliani, sure. Tell us, after you left as president, how you were involved in the negotiations of this agreement and how you ended up with these terms.
Yeah, after I left, thank you for the question. After I left the Canada Soccer Association, I wasn't involved at all with any of these negotiations. My attendance to a board meeting was upon the request of the president, where, and it's common, I get requested by a lot of my member associations, where I attend for the first 5-10 minutes to give an update on
Mr. Bontis just referred the question to you, saying you had more knowledge than him, who was sitting on the executive the entire time and was the vice president at the time it was signed. Very telling. Thank you, Mr. Matilda.